I have a request, however, on just a indication from Mr. Rao on whether some of the participants are already PMP certified and are looking for PDU hours, or all of you are not PMP certified and are currently undertaking this course for the certification. So, Mr. Rao, could you please confirm whether all are PMP aspirants or whether some of them are already PMP certified?
Actually, Mr. Rinosh, not everybody is PMP here, but we certainly have some participants who are project management practitioners qualified.
PMP certified, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. The reason I ask that is because this is typically a certification course, meaning much of the focus is given on being able to get through the PMP exam. Not probably necessarily about building project management capability. Of course, that is integral to the training, and you will definitely have a lot of insight into the formal project management practices as followed by PMI through their and evangelized through their body of knowledge known as PMBOK 5. However, we will not discuss in deep regarding examples and situations because that will take the focus away from maximum coverage of topics necessary for the certification. We also have, we will also discuss a few questions because the key to getting certified is to make sure that you practice as many questions as possible, because it is like a game of golf wherein your capability and understanding of golf is very important, but the real challenge is understanding the course on which you are playing, because you will be playing against the course. Similarly, here also, having deep knowledge on project management practices is essential, but not the only prerequisite to get through the exam. The exam has certain format and very complicated questions, complicated because of the way they ask it. So it is very important that you practice as many questions as possible to make sure that you are successful in the PMP exam. We have a limited number of questions that we will be able to discuss in this session. We also have a facility of learning or practicing the questions in a exam simulator mode, which is provided through our partner VM EDU. Mr. Rao would have been updated about that. So anyone who is interested in subscribing to the VM EDU's online online question bank may do so. So let me just share my screen. I have a presentation which briefly takes more as an anchor, guiding us through the discussion than anything else. So it is mostly text, so I will just start sharing that. Right behind is the exam preparatory workshop based on the PMBOK 5th edition, which is the current running edition. We are Mentor Global is a Project Management Institute certified training partner. The workshop agenda is basically to understand the formal project management framework with the use of PMBOK 5. It will also give you confidence to implement the PMBOK knowledge in your regular project management activities that you conduct. Some of you may not be full-time project managers, but project management is a life skill. Therefore, irrespective of the area in which you work, project management becomes very useful for being able to deliver outcome in a predictable manner with high quality. So the sessions will give you a very good insight into how to conduct project activities. It also qualifies you to write the PMP certification because there is a requirement of 35 contact hours for writing the PMP exam. This course allows you to claim those 35 contact hours provided you have attended all the sessions that we are conducting on this as this part of this training program. you will have adequate opportunity to work through some of the knowledge area questions. We have broken the entire content by knowledge area, and each knowledge area, once you complete that, you can do a set of questions that will prepare you for the specific knowledge area, and you can also have a simulation exam at the end of the training. This will also give you the confidence to write the PMP exam. The basic idea is if you can score more than 80% to 90%, anywhere between 80 and 90% in the final simulation exam, you are pretty much ready for the taking the PMP certification exam. Of course, scoring 100 is always good. The content is divided by knowledge area. So we will give an introduction on the project management framework, followed by the life cycle and organization. Then each of the knowledge areas like integration management, scope management, time management, cost, quality, human resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholder are the various knowledge areas. In addition, you have a few questions from professional responsibility and ethics, which are related to how you conduct project management activities, how your decisions should be influenced during conflicting situations. So that is the professional responsibility and ethics questions, and we'll have a short area on that. We will also have a final quiz that will take you through the simulation of the entire content. A brief introduction about PMI. PMI is a not-for-profit association. PMI is one of the largest membership association in the project management profession. It was established in 1969, and it has its global headquarters in Pennsylvania, USA. They have over 300,000 members worldwide. Actually, this is slightly outdated. Currently, they have more than 450,000 members worldwide, and PMI is engaged in the advocacy of the profession. They have also come out with a new set of certifications and professional standards in specific areas like program management, portfolio management, etc. So it's a evolving organization. Recently, they have launched the ACP, Agile Certified Professional course as well, which focuses on the Agile project management methodology, currently very popular in IT organizations. So they have come out with a standard which is essentially far more broader than the specific Agile methodologies like Scrum, etc. So they are always continuously updating in tune with the current market scenario. It also gives a lot of opportunity for people to have professional development through various certification, networking, and community involvement opportunities. You can volunteer in the PMI organization, and you can be involved in some far-reaching goals that the PMI organization is driving across the globe in various industries, which will also give you an opportunity to work with various people in different verticals or domains, and thereby giving you a lot of exposure and breadth to your experience in project management. So that's about PMI. Again, slight continuation on that. It has around 400 organizations participating in a group building plan. It has 250 PMI chapters. They've got 30 special interest groups. Special interest groups are groups that are highly domain specific and specific to certain industries. So typically you would see in PMI's special interest groups, you would see members from the civil, construction, or government practice. These are the way you do project management for government projects would be different from slightly, or would require certain skill sets that are beyond what the standard PMP certification training provides. So a lot of people who are involved in government projects get together in the special interest group, and discuss their challenges and connect with each other on those platforms. It is one of the most widely recognized certifications, and you can get more information from pmi.org. A quick question. I hope everyone is okay with the speed at which I am going across the slides. Request you to raise your hand or give suggestions if I'm too fast. So the project management publications produced by PMI include periodicals, a quarterly project management journal, a monthly PM network, a monthly PMI Today magazine. They have a lot of other project management focused publications in the form of books, which are available on PMI online bookstore. They also have recently acquired a project management community website called Gantt-Head, and they have rebranded it as projectmanagement.com. Gantt-Head, before its acquisition by PMI, had more than 1.3 million members. The PMI certified, past certified, and current members together is around 700,000 people, but you can see that the Gantt-Head group had a much larger set of people coming in a project management background, including people working in Prince2 framework, people working in agile methodologies, coming all together on that platform. So PMI has acquired that platform and is now made available through www.projectmanagement.com. I would strongly request all of you to take a look at this website. It is very rich in content, and it's got very wide variety of topics and templates. You can get a lot of project management templates or ready-made plans from those websites, and it is uploaded by people like you and me who are working in projects and have experience in specific areas. They would be uploading their project plans. It will give you a good start when you are running your own project. Like, for example, if you have a CRM or a ERP implementation, you can look at the available project plans that are available there, and it will give you a good place to start. And of course, you would have to customize it according to your specific organization's requirement. But overall, it will give you a good start to come up to speed very quickly. So projectmanagement.com is a very useful site for everyone. It has a paid membership model, but all members of PMI are given access free of cost. So there is some content that is free, some content that is paid. All members of Project Management PMI will get free access to the entire resource base. Some of the certifications and credentials from PMI. You have the PMP certification, of course. Then you have got CAPM, which is mostly for young aspiring project managers with very little or no experience in project management. It is called Certified Associate in Project Management. Then you have the Program Management Professional, PGMP. It is for mostly for very experienced project managers who are used to running large projects or programs. Typically, you would see large programs being run in very large organizations and especially in government. So the experience of running the programs will be useful if you are doing the project, the program management professional. There is one certification that is not mentioned here. It is not very popular. It doesn't have many certified people. It is the portfolio management professional, which is even one step above the program management. Multiple projects form a program, and multiple programs form a portfolio. So it is like the portfolio of a minister. So at that level, or a portfolio of a vice president in a corporate scenario, he would be running multiple programs simultaneously. So the portfolio management professional certification will give insight and help the person in executing large-scale portfolios very easily. You've got the PMI scheduling professional, which is highly specific to people who are looking for certification or excellence in scheduling. Scheduling is a critical part of time management. Therefore, a deep understanding of that is also very useful for certain kind of people. There is a risk management professional. Risk management is becoming a very important certification or an area today, because every project, the success or failure of a project is usually determined by the risk management. So risk management has got a lot of potential. You've got the Agile Certified Professional ACP certification, also from PMI. It is a very sought after certification especially in the IT sector, where most of the projects today are moving away from the regular waterfall methodology to a agile methodology, wherein frequent revisions and frequent releases are made to production. So that is a very popular certification for IT professionals. The eligibility criteria for each of the credentials are different, and can be you can have more details at the PMI website. PMI is truly a global certification, or the PMP is truly a global certification, because the PMBOK is developed by people like you and me who are practicing project managers, who spend their time in volunteer work along with PMI, giving their inputs and spending their or debating experiences that they have to evolve the BOK. If you can look at the BOK, it has been evolved more than 4 times. Now it is the 5th evolution that we have from the introduction in 1984 as a certification program. They have evolved the certification and the BOK. Different practices emerged and some of the practices disappear. So it is kept up to date by working professionals. Even the exam questions are developed by normal or average project managers like you and me. The PMI uses a volunteer day program to get project managers, working project managers, to come together and develop the question bank, and it is taken through a very rigorous qualification process before it comes into the certification pool of questions. So it is a global program in every way. It is not specific to US, where it has originated. Today, people from all over the world contribute to its development. And they have regular events, which they call as they have got national conferences across the world. In India, also they have the national conference, and these conferences are conducted in specific region-wise. They have got various regions. Each region will have their own network and events where people in that region typically go and participate. So it gives an opportunity to meet other project managers, understand how they execute projects in other countries and other organizations, and learn best practices from each of these areas for execution in our own environment. It is ISO certified and accredited to the ISO organization. So that also gives it additional credence. So PMP certification is typically asked for by corporates, primarily because it gives consistency of project execution across various people. Now, if people continue to execute projects without a constant or a consistent structure, predictability is reduced. Some people, typically it is also in IT industry, some of the developers are called cowboy coders. This is because they work by themselves. They will drive the development activity in a particular direction. Similarly, in project management also, you will see some of the heroes in project management executing projects in a non-standard manner. The challenge with that is it reduces predictability within the organization. It reduces the visibility that the management has in the progress of the project. So it becomes a microclimate or a micro environment where things happen differently. So companies prefer people who can follow a structured methodology and which is consistent across the globe. So projects executed by PMP certified project managers are usually consistent of where it is executed, whether it is executed by project managers in India or whether it is executed by project managers in Britain or in the US. It will follow consistent steps and processes because they all adhere to, and usually PMP certified people are very passionate about the PMP certification process and PMI, and would try their level best to comply with these processes. So this is what we have seen in action. So this is one of the primary reasons why companies ask for the PMP certification. And it is also a choice among many industries because some of these industry groups have worked very closely with PMI in making sure that their areas of importance or preferences are also incorporated into the BOK or the PMBOK. So industries like civil and especially the Department of Defense in the US, etc., have been very instrumental in shaping the BOK. Some of the benefits that people can look at is it provides a professional or a personal recognition on your capability, and when you discuss with different people and they know that you are a PMP certified, they can definitely expect a minimum set of skills and capabilities from merely having that certification. So that is a good thing to have. It also exploits professional advancement in certain companies. Because it aligns with their HR policies of how promotions are considered. It gives growth opportunities within an organization, and it also gives a standardized way of execution. So we have got the PMP certification introduced in 1984. We have got the eligibility as a bachelor's degree or a global equivalent, minimum 3 years of project management experience, and during the period having completed 4,500 hours leading or directing project tasks. You need not necessarily be a project manager during that period, but you should have significant experience in the various knowledge areas. For example, some people may have experience only in schedule management, cost management, and resource management, so which is also fine. But much of this time has to be spent specifically in those areas. When you fill the application, it has to be as truthful as possible because there would be verifications and audits. So the people who are applying should make sure that the experience that they are demonstrating is backed by evidence. Those without a bachelor's degree or a global equivalent can still appear for the PMP exam. The only thing is that they should have a minimum of 5 years of professional project management experience, and of which at least 7,500 hours are spent in the project management areas. You require 35 hours of specific project management education, which is provided by this course, and you need to pass the examination. Typical pass mark is around 70%. They do not really disclose what exactly that is, but it is in the whereabouts of 67 to 72%. And you should agree to abide by the Code of Professional Conduct by PMI, and these are the requirements for getting PMP credentials. The examination pattern itself is 4 hours. You've got around 200 multiple choice questions. It will be randomly mixed across various process groups. Process groups are between from these knowledge areas. The 10 knowledge areas are grouped as process groups through 5 stages. So you will have to, the questions will also come from any of those areas. Of the 200 questions, 175 are marked. Remaining 25 are actually pre-test questions, which are being assessed for inclusion into the question base. So the 175 questions are marked. You do not know which are the ones for this 25 and the 175. So essentially, you need to make sure that you get at least 70% correct, so that you are in the safe zone for passing the exam. This has to be written in 4 hours, which is 240 minutes. So you get slightly more than a minute to answer each of these questions. So we will go through specific areas on how to approach the exam at the end of the training session. The exam fee is $405 for members, $405. For non-members, it is $565. There are other options like paper-based testing, etc., for people who live far away from the nearest computer-based testing center. So there are certain CCR requirements or the continuing certification requirements. I understand that there are some PMP certified people. This is specifically for those people and for those who intend to take the PMP certification. After the PMP certification, you would have to make sure that you retain the certification by achieving a certain number of continuing certification requirements being met. Excuse me. Continuing certification requirement met through professional development units or PDUs as it was known earlier. So I'll just quickly take you through those. The PMI talent triangle focuses on 3 areas. One is the technical project management area. They conducted a detailed survey and 66% of organizations said that the technical project management areas are very important. For example, technical project management in civil construction is different from IT or from any other project scenarios. So the knowledge of specific civil project management is important. So people should make sure that they get trained through technical project management areas, not necessarily from PMI, but any training or any capability development done in that area is also considered for retaining your certification. Similarly, leadership is another critical area, and some of the points or some of the hours have to be earned through trainings in leadership areas. Strategic business management, again, one portion of the PDUs should be earned from strategic business management area. So these are some of the details about it: requirements gathering, techniques, project control, scheduling, some of the technical project management areas. Leadership areas are team building, negotiation, influencing, these aspects. So finance, budgeting, etc. comes from strategic business management. There are no new categories added or anything eliminated for the PDU earning process. You have got category A for all the trainings that you have attended with a registered education provider like Mentor Global. Category B for continuing education. Category C for self-directed learning. You can learn on your own and claim some of those hours as contributing towards the continuing certification requirement. Category D for creating new project management knowledge, volunteer service. Category E and category F, work as a practitioner. So some of these were earlier known as contributing back to community. So like work as a practitioner and volunteer service, etc. comes under that. The total 3-year PDU requirement is also not going to change. For those of you who had certified earlier and wish to claim PDUs for this course, you have got 60 PDUs is a requirement for PMP, PGMP, PFMP, and PMI PBA. That is Business Analyst Certification requires 60 PDUs for retaining the certification, 30 PDUs for PMI ACP, PMI RMP, and SP. Education requirements: 35 PDUs with at least 8 technical PDUs earned from 8 technical areas, 8 PDUs earned in the leadership area, and 8 PDUs from the business or strategic area. Remaining 11 in any of the triangles. So essentially, 35 PDUs have to be from the PMI talent triangle here, as you can see here. Whereas the remaining 25 PDUs can be received as part of working as a professional. So if you are working as a professional project manager, you can earn PDUs for that, and you can also earn for volunteering or creating knowledge in the PMI through PMI volunteer services. There is a VRS service that is available through which you can volunteer and contribute to some of the PMI's activities. So this is how you earn PDUs, and PDUs are relevant only for those who are certified already. For those who are yet to certify, the PDUs do not matter. It is something that you need to earn after your certification. There is a migration process for going into the certification expiration for those of you who are already certified. This is the format. December 2017 and beyond, you have to classify PDUs according to the new CCR format. And the PMP examination, you need to have an application. The application is taken at random for audit, and the audit will require you to provide contact person's name for them to check whether the person has actually performed what has been claimed. For example, if you are giving an experience of 2 years with a particular organization, if your form is taken for audit, you will be required to give a contact person's name. They can contact for reference. So any audit is not based on any condition. It is a extremely neutral and random act. I have many of the people who have trained have been picked for audit, and they have given suitable responses, and which was accepted for their continuing to the exam. So this will require you to provide educational certifications, endorsements for the projects that you have managed, and the training participation certificate that we provide for the 35 contact hours. The steps for PMP examination is, this is basically a flow diagram of what we had mentioned earlier in terms of whether you have a bachelor's degree or a diploma and having the experience. In case it is, ideally you should become a PMI member, because the membership gives you a slight discount on the exam fee, and you can become a member. It gives you access to the PMBOK. BOK is downloaded with your credentials, so it cannot be shared because of copyright violations. So ideally you should become a PMI member, and then you can download your own copy of PMBOK, and that will allow you to reading the BOK is very important because it gives you a good view of all the aspects. The training course that we conduct is just an explanation of some of the concepts. The BOK will give you very detailed aspects about the certification course itself. So this is what we intended to cover today, because this was just a curtain raiser and the beginning of the session. We will go into the details of the topics and the knowledge areas in the next session. Every hour you spend on